Now we're going to find out how the play is.
We did it. Hello and welcome
gonna find
to
out how
Uptown Monk.
We
did it. Hello and welcome this week's edition of the Buffalo Scrying Things one-shot series. I am your DM Ian, and I'll be running this game of Dungeons and Dragons for the assembled friends I've got here. Real quick, what I'll have you guys do, I'll have you introduce your characters in a minute as part of the game. But if we want to just sort of go down the line here, and introduce yourselves. And actually, I'll just do it because I don't know what order you guys actually show up in your windows. So
Fair enough.
It's okay. So with the, I'm going to try not to be too weird with these descriptions, but with the blue hair and pink headphones, we have my friend Jess. In the blue shirt with the cat on his bed, we got Brian. I'm Ian, been there. With the computer in the background, we have Alyssa. With the fan in the background, we have Noah. And with the bright, shining beacon of light behind her, we have Kelly.
My one-room lamp.
So, today's theme, if you haven't guessed it from the title or any of the overlays or seen any of my tweets, everybody here is going to be a monk. This is the theme of this week's session. And I guess we'll just get right into it so you guys can introduce your characters and we can just start punching people. You have all been assembled together to a very special monastery. You are arriving at the Abbey of the Order of St. Arnulf, a renowned up and down the Sword Coast as a fine monastery that its tenets are public health, public safety, asceticism, and fine ale. Because like all good Franciscan Benedictine monks, they know how to make themselves a fine beer. And specifically, what you guys are here for is sort of a tournament of sorts.
Yes.
And you arrive outside this monastery, outside this fine stone abbey. You're presented in front of a small amphitheater, like a nice little natural amphitheater, stone seats going up on one side, central clearing in the middle. And in the middle stands a monk, and he is a dwarf, dwarfy stature, wearing just plain monk's robes, just a monk's habit, black belt around the waist, and he's leaning on a long-handled axe and just waits for you. And as he sees you guys enter, he beckons you guys over. You step out into this amphitheater, and you see the crowd arrayed before you. It's a wide variety of monks from a bunch of different traditions and orders, and also just a bunch of common folk, wide variety of commoners. And you see other monks dressed in the same fashion as the one in the middle, serving, sausage and beer and cheese and, game food, really. Stadium food. And as he beckons you over, waves you all over, and he's like, welcome, my friends. Welcome to the Abbey of St. Arnulf, home of the Order of St. Arnulf. I am Brother Bob. You have been gathered to compete in the Quadrennial Sword Coast Martial Arts Gauntlet, wherein you will demonstrate the arts and talents of your monastic traditions and display what it truly means to follow the paths that you have chosen as monks. The gauntlet will consist of 4 challenges. The challenge of the body, the skill, the spirit, and a final secret challenge of my own devising. Yeah, Brian?
My character, Ignis, is a kobold monk, and they ask, "What's the secret?"
You're gonna find out.
See?
It'll be the
better if
fourth
you
one.
told me now.
For you, maybe, but for the crowd, no, not so much. But you actually raise an excellent point. I will say these challenges, they may seem like a competition, but all of you have to pass through each challenge to proceed. So while you must display your talents and your traditions and your trainings, it may not be the best to unduly hinder your comrades. For every challenge, anyway. There's some leeway. There's some leeway. But what I'll have you do, my kobold friend, you can actually introduce yourself first.
Uh,
Okay, so Brother Bob, now that we're back, will gesture to Brian and be like, my kobold friend, why don't you start us off? Please introduce yourself and describe the tradition from which you come to us today.
I'm Iggins, and I fight for the kobolds.
Very deep.
That's
but
all I
very
said.
simple. I'm like, I appreciate the brevity. I like it. It's nice.
What's brevity?
And he'll, well, being concise and short.
Like
What are
you.
you saying short for?
Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll just move on. So,
Yeah, move on, Bob.
so
Just move on.
so he'll sort of move over and be like, look at our goblin that's present, and he'll be like, my goblin friend, why don't you
hi,
introduce
that's me.
yourself next?
That's me. Hi. I'm Tilly. I am an astral monk, so I got really cool big fists that can reach way farther than my little arms can. That's me. Hi.
I love it. This is what I'm here for. Thank
Also,
you,
don't
my
bully
friend.
short
This
people.
is-
Short people are cool.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, Bob.
He'll sort of like stand for a moment, like, I am a dwarf. I'm not.
Yeah, but
I'm
you're
not
probably
tall.
taller than me.
He is, yeah. Like he's about 4 feet, but still.
Giant.
Yeah, he's huge.
Twice as tall as me.
And he'll turn, and he'll turn to the tiefling present in the party, and be like, "My tiefling friend, you're next."
I'm Saul, and I'm one with the elements. And she kind of like just looks up, does this sort of thing. And yeah. A little
Thank you.
spacey.
I love it. It's perfect. These are the very traditions that make up monks in our world. This is a fine representation.
To
They'll
note, she also
turn-
has very round pink glasses on.
Big rose-colored glasses.
Yep.
I was about to ask.
Just an option.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Excellent.
He'll turn further down the line to the turtle present in the group. Like, my turtle friend, who are you?
My name is Dordle, and I am a turtle. And for the past 100 years, I have been studying the way of the long death
Fitting.
alone.
Oh.
Oh.
It's like Eeyore.
Oh.
Forever alone. Thank you, my friend. And last but not least, he'll turn to our Triton friend here. Who are you? Where do you hail from?
I'm Kaylani. I hail from a city off of the Sword Coast, and I have been studying the way of the open hand.
Fantastic. Beautiful. Thank you, my friends, and many thanks to those here who will compete today. And thanks to our remote viewing provider, Buffalo Scrying Things, Ales, Dungeons, Wings. And as he says this, up above in the air in front of the stands, several images are going to pop up just in midair. And as you look at them, you notice that from some downward angle, it's actually projecting a view of the group of you in the middle of this amphitheater.
Ooh.
And so now you're being projected to the crowd
I'm
on
gigantic.
a...
I've never been taller.
And yeah, and as you wave and flex, like it shows up on the big screens, and the crowd, gives a round of applause and like raises like pretzels and stuff towards you, and it's a fine festival atmosphere. And at this, Bob will wave to the crowd and be like, "And we will now begin the first challenge. If all of you will follow me a short distance this way." And he'll walk over and towards the abbey. And as you walk over, you see that the abbey is surrounded by what looks like a moat. But as you get to the edge of this moat, you see that at least the section leading up to the abbey is very deep, very wide, and it is full of vertical poles, little like pilings that are, dotting their way across. And there are also 4 tall towers, 2 on each side of the moat, sort of marking a boundary of this field of poles. And Bob will look at you and address the group and be like, "So, the first challenge, the challenge of the body, simply to cross our moat and enter the temple." And at this, Bob will just hop his way across all of the poles, just, sprightly hop his way across. As he does this, You do note on at least a couple of the poles that he touches as he jumps across, arrows shoot out of these towers down towards the poles. He doesn't even seem to notice. And he'll stop on the other side and call across. Who wants to go first?
How big is this thing again?
It's probably about 60 feet across.
Okay.
So really not a huge distance for any of you, all things considered.
But we can't like
probably-
Morpheus jump across it.
No. So yeah, it'll
I'll
probably
go
take
first.
you a couple rounds to get across. All right, so yeah, Ignis will go first. Ignis. And how do you decide to get across? What do you do as you prepare to make your way over?
I'm just gonna try and quickly hop from pole to pole using my athleticism and
Okay. All right. So I'll have you do a pair of checks. I'll have you do. We'll do the athletics check first, just to see how how many times you're actually going to have to hit each pole.
Okay.
Gauge the strength of your jumps.
Can I do acrobatics instead since I've got better decks?
Let's do athletics first.
Athletics. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. That's that's good. How about a 6?
6 is
How good do I do?
not great. So what this means is your hops between poles aren't going to be super far. So you're really going to have to make contact with a bunch of these poles as you make your way across.
Great.
It's the little
So-
legs.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't jump as
right.
far.
Little legs will do it every time.
He did just jump 3 times his height.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
still
Valid.
it's still impressive.
Proportionally, I'm a monster. I'm the true dragon.
And so now go ahead and give me a acrobatics check as you start making your hops.
Okay. I took a feat that I'm an athlete, so I think I get let's see. I think I get a thingo. Wait, maybe it didn't trigger. Do I get one? We rolled a 1. What? All right, I'm just gonna roll it. Whatever. Oh shit. Okay, I rolled an 8.
Okay,
2 plus
also
6.
not great. So as
Yeah.
you're hopping across, you're making your way, but you're making your way slow. So 2 things are going to happen to you. First, you're going to trigger a bunch of these arrows to come at you. So I know that you got deflect missiles because you're a monk. So what this will do is, let's see. Okay, so one of these arrows is going to zing out, and it's going to try and hit you. That's going to miss. Another one. Okay, that'll hit. And it's going to zing out, and it'll hit you for 5 damage.
Oh no.
So D10 plus 7.
But his 3 health.
I'm 20 now. Instant death. I just explode. So if I'm trying to deflect my missiles, I roll a 6 plus 7.
Okay, so yeah, that'll be enough for you to actually deflect the arrows away from you as you're making your hop across, so you won't take any damage.
Okay, so I spend a key for that.
And I will have you make a dexterity save as you're hopping across to see if
Great.
you like fall over at any point during this because of the limited number of hops.
17 plus 4, so 21.
Okay, so yeah, you take your time, you pick your way across, but you
Okay.
don't have any mishaps on your way over, and you do make it across, and you stand up next to Bob.
Yeah, so after the arrows shooting at me, I started to get serious and actually like do do pretty well at the polling. Ah! I am the Master Dragon! No one will ever defeat me!
Amazing. All right. So Bob will call out and be like, "Ah, yes, Master Iggins has made it across. Who is next?"
Let me show you how it's done. I got little legs, but I bet I can do better than him.
No way.
Awesome.
Yes.
So how do you plan on making your way across?
I would like to just hop across and look really cool while I'm doing it, though.
All right, so yeah, go ahead and give me, we'll do the same set of checks for you then. So go ahead and give me the athletics first.
I'm trying the D&D Beyond dice roller, so I just click it. That's a 17.
Bullshit.
So yeah, you actually you actually get some good distance, so you don't have to touch as many of these as Iggins did on his way across. So now give me a acrobatics check.
Acrobatics is... Oh, that was almost bad. 18.
Okay. So yeah, same thing. You don't have a whole lot of mishaps on the way over. You do get at least one of these arrows shot at you as you're going across.
And then I explode too.
And you also explode.
Hmm.
So that one of those will zing out for also 5.
Okay. And I would like to deflect missiles it.
Love it.
Yes.
All right. And so how much do you reduce that by?
I'm trying to find it. 1d10 plus my dexterity modifier,
Plus your
which
non-subtle.
is... There's a d10. There. Roll. Oh, good. That's a 1 on my dice.
Oh, good.
Plus 8, so 9 total.
So managed to deflect the arrow without any undue fuss. And you two make it across, and you're now over with Bob and Iggins.
When I make it to the other side, I want to do like a handstand flip and then give a big thumbs up. Just because I can.
Can I try and push? I want to push her over.
Starting this early. This is
Yeah.
great.
That
Thank you.
can't be shown up.
All right.
the big smoke?
I
So
rolled
yeah,
a
go
17.
roll the 17. Does a 17 hit your AC, Jess?
Oh, I have 18 AC.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Okay.
That's not my mod.
So no.
That's not my
So she
mod, though.
manages to.
I'll turn to you and be like,
Oh.
dude, I thought we were sticking together as short people.
I didn't know you were gonna look better than me at this.
I'll teach you. It's okay.
Okay.
I'll show you. It'll be cool.
All right. But I stand there like folding my arms, looking pissed.
Oh. He's pouting.
All right. Bob will call across, like looking. Who's next?
Do we notice anything about where the arrows are coming from or anything? If we're paying attention.
Go ahead and give me. Oh, let's see. Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight
Insight.
or perception, whichever's better.
They are both pretty good, but I'll go with insight.
They are both pretty good. but I'll go
Well,
with
no,
insight.
2 doesn't help. I got an 8.
Both pretty good.
An 8.
Well, no,
Okay.
2 doesn't help. I got
So
an 8.
you're able to, with that, you're able to figure
Okay.
out like.
So
which
you're
able to, the with first that, you're able
one
to figure out
that's
like,
been
so
triggering
the arrows, but after that you lose complete track.
Sure.
So you know one log to avoid out of dozens.
Yeah, well, not that one. That's for sure. I'll go next.
All right. So how do you plan on making it across?
Well, first things first, I'm not stepping on that log. We're gonna pick a different one. I
Nice.
want to kind of hop as nimbly as I can for a 500-pound turtle.
Do these logs actually support him?
Yeah, I think that's a good
We'll see.
and then towards the end, I just want to try to long jump the rest of it. Maybe spend a key
Okay.
point to double my jump at the end.
Okay. All right. So we'll start with go ahead and give me an athletics as you start your move across.
Right, this is gonna be interesting. I got a 13.
A 13? Okay. So yeah, with a 13, you don't have a whole lot of issue, going from log to log. However, because you are heavy, like they have a lot, you notice they have a lot more sway than they did for the kobold and the
Yeah, that's
goblin.
fair.
So what I'll need you to
Oh
do,
dear.
go ahead and just roll me a d6.
D6, you got it.
Hmm.
I got a 1.
A 1. All right. So now I'm gonna need a dexterity save from you.
This isn't getting better.
As that log really starts to
I
go.
got him.
It's not. It's. You got.
Oh.
Oh.
Dang, son.
Oh.
All right. So you're going over.
I'm just gonna walk along the
You're-
ground and then climb up at the end.
Okay.
Swim
So
across.
what we're gonna do. Gravity is normal and in effect here, so you're gonna go down about 20 feet to the bottom of this moat. I'll have you take 8 points of fall damage
Ow.
as you land.
As I do.
And once you're on the ground, you can walk over and give me another athletics as you climb your way up the earthen bank on the other side.
Okay, that time I got a 17.
Okay, so yeah, you make it. It's not hard to find handholds, and you make your way up to the top. You pop up over the top, and there's some applause from the crowd that you can hear in the background as you reappear. And Bob will like the persistence. I like the persistence. This is
Slow and steady
monks don't give up.
wins the race.
Monks don't give up. This is beautiful. I love this. And he'll call across to the last two and be like, "Who's next?"
I'll go. I have 2 questions.
Okay.
How tall are these poles?
About 20 feet
20 feet tall and
to the bottom. Yeah, and change.
About-
They're not all even.
yeah. So, and they're all fairly clumped together, within 5 feet of each other, roughly, give or take.
Yeah, they're spaced kind of at random, but yeah, they're all in pretty decent proximity.
Okay. So what I want to do is kind of more climb onto the middle and just swing side to side, just grab onto the next one, instead of going over the top.
Okay.
Spider-Man it.
So,
Yeah, Spider-Man it a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm.
Doing so, yeah, you would definitely avoid the arrows. Noah avoided the arrows because he wasn't up there long enough. But yeah, so go ahead and give me an athletics as you spider hop your way between these.
22.
22. Oh yeah. You make it through pretty effortlessly. You hop through. You definitely Spider-Man your way across, and you can hop right out on the other side. 0 arrows get triggered on your way over. Any victory statement as you're on this side?
Just some of her ombre braids are in front of her face, just tosses hair over shoulder.
Creative. Simple. I like it. It's good. And he'll call across to the tiefling and be like, last but not least, how do you make your way across?
So seeing Kaylani, is that how you say it?
Kaylani, yeah.
Yeah, seeing her do what she just did, I'm gonna totally copy that. Be like, that's a good idea. As noticing no arrows, I was like, I'm gonna just copy her.
All right, so athletics.
Athletics. Natural 20.
Ooh.
Plus 4.
Yay.
Kaylani made it look pretty effortless on her way over, but you somehow managed to eke out a little bit. Like, do you do anything special? Like, do you do any like flips or dismounts on your way out?
Of course,
Oh
I
my
do like
God.
a somersault as I end.
The tail
I'm like-
adds to balance.
Exactly. I'm like,
I fully believe tiefling tails should be prehensile.
right? Well, I imagine it like a cat. It's more for balance, less for.
Depends on the tiefling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, as she lands, kind of elbow toward Ignis and be like, she was even cooler than me.
Yeah, but I was still
You
better than the dumb
Say
turtle.
that.
Awesome.
Oh, by the way, here's your nat 20.
I just turned to the
Oh.
rest of people like, that's fun. What's next?
Spirit, I love it.
Yeah.
Next is the challenge of the spirit. If you'll follow me, and Bob will walk you further towards the abbey. You guys will walk, up the main causeway up to the building. It's like a big stone European style, like church-like abbey or monastery. As you walk through, you see a bunch of like fields of barley and wheat in the distance. There's a bunch of vines growing over the sunny side of the abbey. You see like lattice work all over the place with more vines. If you look closely, you'll see that all of the vines are actually hops. they're sourcing local here. And it's actually like really well manicured and taken care of. You do see a couple of monks tending the various gardens and things as you make your way in. And Bob will open a grand stone door into the front of the abbey, and he'll walk in and beckon you all to come inside. First things first, you all go inside.
Yes.
I'm
Tilly
gonna go
skips the whole
last.
way.
You say that, but you have to walk pretty slow.
Oh, that's true. Actually, can I climb on top of Dordle's shell and just ride him?
Do it.
Yep.
What's another 8 pounds?
I rolled a 14 plus 4.
So yeah, you
I will
You
help
stay
you.
on him.
It's fine. You can be there.
like just perch
And
right on there.
As we're leaving, can the crowd still see us?
Oh yeah. You guys are
Okay.
the cheers are getting a little more distant, a little more echoey, but yeah, you can definitely hear that the crowd can still see you as you start to enter the building.
Okay, so I'm just gonna be like flexing as I'm standing on the turtle shell.
I love
You'll
gold.
hear sort of in the background, you'll hear a little bit of like a small part of the crowd just going against.
I like pump my fists too.
So Bob will bring you into this first room in the temple, and he'll walk across and he'll open another stone door, and he'll step through and he'll say, "Okay, so what I'll have you all do first is I'll have you all take a look around this room. So if everybody could give me a round of perception checks."
18.
I got a 14.
12.
14, 12.
I got a 1
4.
that turns into a 5. I'm
Okay.
just not. I'm not in my headspace yet.
Just
Maybe my tail is like in your face as I'm trying to look around.
Yeah.
So,
Kobold's just in your
Igan,
peripheral.
no matter where you look, there's a kobold. It's weird. So, Iggins, Kaylani, and Tilly, you guys will see a big defining feature of this room. There are the two doors, one on either end, the one you came in and the one Bob's gone through. Big, heavy stone doors on that side. You will notice that floor is covered in decorated tiles, and each of the tiles has symbols on them. So it seems like there's like 4 or 5 symbols that repeat across the floor. And you'll see up high, mounted in the middle of the ceiling, is actually like a big hourglass mounted on a pivot. And then, so that's what you guys will see with your higher perception checks. And what everyone will see in this room, the real big feature that's real hard to miss, is that the 2 walls on the sides have spikes.
Those are
Lots of them.
spike balls.
Oh, fun.
Oh boy.
Sweet.
And
Lord.
at this, Bob will sit and say, "And now we will begin the challenge of the spirit. Enjoy yourselves." And he'll shut his door. And as he does, and as he gets shut on his side, the door behind you also closes. And you're now locked into the room. So before anything happens, what would you guys like to do to check out this room?
I would like to
Oh,
remove the
sweet.
kobold from my head.
I just jump off his head and just start running for the door.
I'm gonna
Alrighty.
check out the spikes because that's all I saw.
Move?
Like, wow. How big are
Tilly's
they?
just gonna grab out whoever's the closest to her and be like, "Don't panic!" and then start running around and trying to look at the marks on the ground without stepping on them,
Okay.
but like investigating them.
Okay.
Having seen
Um,
someone else notice these things, I assume I finally realized they're there.
mhm.
I'll also investigate those, but not as quickly.
Okay. So, as far as the spikes on the walls, they're stone walls, and the spikes, they all seem to be made out of wood, but they're all sharp. Like they all could definitely go through a person given enough effort.
Wood?
Um,
They're not metal.
No, they're not metal. They're not stone. From what you can see, they're also not bone either. So that's kind of a plus for the most part.
I'm so glad they're not bone.
John's
It
trap.
wasn't something I thought of at first, but
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking.
now I'm
about it.
thinking of it.
Mm.
As far as the floor goes, go ahead and give me a religion or insight check as you check out the
Religion
floor,
or
Tilly and Dordle.
Hey,
I'm gonna
I
do
got a
an
22
insight.
Okay.
for
I
insight.
got-
2 for insight.
I got a 19 for insight.
Okay. So you guys look at this, you recognize that some of these symbols might be like symbols of various religious orders or anything like that. You do notice that one of the tiles, one of the shapes on the tiles, is a hop flower, a hop bud.
Hmm.
And that one is evenly spaced throughout the floor in the pattern.
Perhaps.
Iggins, as you run towards the door,
Oh no.
you just go towards the door. You're not hopping on any particular symbols or anything like that.
I'm not even looking down.
Awesome. So as you run straight across, the first thing that you notice as you go towards the door is that some of the tiles sink under your feet. A little
I
bit.
run faster.
Love it.
Can I
And as
notice if there's like symbols on the ones that are sinking? Or is it
give me
just
a
random?
perception check.
Okay. Perception. Oh boy. Okay. 8.
8. He's moving too fast.
Okay.
And they
A speedy
don't
boy.
seem to sink. They don't seem to
Gotta go
sink too
fast.
long. And as you get to the door is shut. But as you're moving, two things start to happen. The first thing is the hourglass that was up above in the middle of the ceiling rotates on its little pivot gimbal thing and goes from, empty to goes from full to empty, and the sand starts going through. And you notice and you hear the walls start moving in a very predictable direction.
Outward.
Yeah, away from us.
Yeah, away. So I move away from the spikes then. No, okay. Go towards the middle with my comrades.
Okay.
Great. How big is this room? Like, real big?
To start, it's about 20 by 20.
Okay.
Not exceptionally huge, but it's not a prison cell either.
So does that count the spikes? How long are the spikes coming out of the wall?
Spikes are about a foot long, so it's 18 by 20, effectively.
Okay.
Okay.
Close together or
Pretty
far
close
apart?
together.
Okay, darn it.
There may be at furthest maybe like 8-10 inches apart.
So there's like
Wait, I might be able to fit between those.
and like there's a middle row of this thing that has these tiles on it.
The tiles are all over the floor.
So we were already
whole
standing
floor-
on them when we entered,
Yes.
and there's a door across from us.
Yep. That is the one that Bob went through. That is shut.
Okay. I want to step on one of the hop tiles.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do too. I wanted to hop on a hop.
Hop on hop.
Yes.
Hop on hop. Okay, so yeah, if you go ahead and you hop on a hop tile, you notice it doesn't seem to do anything.
I will only stand on hop tiles from now on.
Yeah, I would like to make my way across the room, keeping in mind the spikes, but trying to only step on these hop tiles.
Confirmation bias.
Yes.
I don't say that. I'm not
Okay.
smart enough to say that.
Yell it across the room.
That's confirmation bias.
Check my hypothesis by stepping on another one. Closer to the other end of the room.
Is there like a door handle or something like sticking out of the door?
No.
Or is it
No,
just
it's
like a
this-
flat door?
Yeah, flat door. It's a double door, so there's the seam down the middle, but yeah, flat door.
What's it made out of?
Stone.
Shit.
So the walls are creeping in.
Can
As
I
you're
try to... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, interrupt away. You're
Oh,
in a
can
room
I
that's
try
massive trap.
to look at the big... What was the word?
Hourglass?
Yes. Yeah, that.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a perception or an investigation on that.
Perception. Ooh. That's a nat 20. A total of 25.
Okay. So yeah, as you look at that hourglass, and you're able with that check, you're able to see and guess that there's probably like maybe 5 minutes or so before that thing runs out, judging by how how quickly it's going through the glass.
Mhm.
And as you look around at the room, you also note that the walls are closing in, but they're not closing in super quickly right now. So you think might be about 5 minutes
Yeah.
until the walls like meet in the
Till
middle.
great stone clap.
I will yell to everyone, 5 minutes! That's
Till
what it is.
And I'll yell back, but I'm already at the door. And then I'll knock on the door.
There will be no answer.
I'm. Are these hop tiles like close enough to be stepping, like big steps, or are they like?
If you
forward?
there's there's a pretty decent gap between them, but yeah, you could probably they're not so far apart that you couldn't hot lava your way from tile to tile.
I would like to hot lava my way across the room.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics.
I changed my mind. I'd like to make a standing jump across these things.
What?
Okay.
This 500-pound turtle just launches into the air.
It's like a sumo jump. Boom, a giddy.
Go ahead and give me an athletics then.
I just picture the Hulk.
I got a
long
10.
Okay. All right.
Rolling
So
real
you-
low this game.
Yeah. So you launch like and you make the distance. But you definitely when you land, you do land on one of the hop tiles, but you crush that thing.
Oh, well, that's fair.
Like
No.
to keep the Hulk analogy going. Yeah, it just
Yordle
you
smash.
cave that thing right in.
Oops.
But aside from crushing the decorative stone tile, nothing else really seems to happen.
Excellent.
Is there a bunch of these tiles, or like a finite number of them?
There's now one fewer.
There is a finite number, but there's a bunch. There's plenty for all of you to stand on and move
Is there
around the
enough
room.
for one for each of us, including the one Dortle just crushed?
Yeah, there's plenty for all of you to stand on.
Are we gonna Zelda it? We gotta stand on one.
Yeah, I'm like, Dortle, stay there. Let's each like stand on one and see what happens. Maybe have
Cool.
more of them pressed down at the same time.
Okay.
I
do
don't
that.
know if they were
You're trying
supposed to press. I was just insistent.
It's worth trying because we only have a few minutes, so trial and error.
What about the other symbols?
Like sands through the
What are
hour.
those?
Go ahead and
the
give
days of
me
our
a go ahead and give me a religion or an insight on as you check out the other tiles.
18?
18. Okay. So yeah, you recognize a bunch of these other tiles. They're definitely other like symbols of like other monastic orders in the region. Some of them are familiar to you. Yeah, and you do recognize that the hop bud flower thing is the symbol of the Order of St. Arnulf.
Okay.
It's prominently featured all around the outside of the abbey and on stuff that you've seen going in. And as far as the significance of what you're of each one, you don't notice anything like, oh well, if I step on like the Order of the Open Fist logo, that one's gonna be terrible. Or if I step on the Way of the Long Death logo, everyone's gonna just catch fire. You know, you don't pick up, you don't see anything like that.
That would be a short.
But like seeing Iggins run across, just stepping on tiles, you do remember that is what kickstarted this whole thing.
Yeah. Cool.
The tiles do mean something.
It's not my
Don't
fault.
step on those ones.
I'm sorry, do you say you do step on those?
No.
Or...
Said don't step on those ones. To everyone else.
Which ones?
Because we didn't see which one he stepped on.
The ones you stepped on.
Which
Is
ones
there
did
a
I step
symbol?
on?
All of them.
Oh.
That's true.
Is there a symbol for every type of monk thing?
Every type of monk, but there's like, including the hop bud, there's about 5.
Maybe
So
we all
there's
have
a
to stand on our own
About
monk
Yeah.
path.
5, exactly 5.
5.
So, yeah, I'm gonna look for one that's the way of the 4 elements and step on that one.
Yeah, I'll try to
Okay.
find one
Yeah,
for
they're-
the astral.
That's mine.
Yeah, find one for mine.
I finally realize what you guys are doing, and I take a step to the left onto the long death one.
Was there only
Okay.
one 4 elements one?
Now there's multiple 4 elements ones, but
Okay.
4 elements,
This one's mine!
long death, astral, they are coincidentally all represented, and you guys go and step on those. And as you
Yes.
do,
Yes.
the walls speed up.
Oh no.
Hard
Oh,
mode activated.
I
Excellent.
wasn't smart. I had a bad idea.
That was
Wait, it was an idea. It just wasn't the right one.
Yeah.
So, where is the hourglass? Is it above us?
I was
Yep,
just
right
gonna
up in
ask
the
that.
right up in the middle of the ceiling,
What if we just
about 20
What
feet
if
up.
it's not an indicator, but the cause?
Yeah, what if we just
And
kind of
So, how tall is Dordle?
I am about 6 feet tall.
Okay.
But if these spikes are really big, I might be able to climb them.
Yeah,
like
I'm thinking. Let's
Yeah,
take
they're
out
about
the hourglass.
Yeah, the spikes are about a foot long, so you could definitely grab hold of them and use them as
The
handholds
question is,
and try and
are they
to not
sturdy enough
stab
to hold my
yourself.
weight? Because if they are, I'm gonna climb them, and if they're not, I'm gonna break them all off.
Well, I'm little. Can I fit in between some of them and like kind of climb up?
The ladder.
Do like the vertical version
Yeah.
of how I got across earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and give me a an athletics or acrobatics as you attempt to lizard your way up there.
Modified 20.
Oh yeah, you have no problem getting
Super.
up and grabbing them and getting between them. You don't scratch or impale yourself in any way as you're climbing up, and they don't have any problem holding your weight at all.
Sweet. Okay. So I'm gonna try and climb up, and then kind of like wait for the walls to get within range, which is I think 10 feet. So I can try my fire extendy thing. What is it called?
Oh, okay.
Is it the fire snake?
I mean, if you have a range of 10 feet, you can do that immediately. Because the
Yeah.
hourglass is in the center of the room of a 20 by 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can
So-
and as far as the walls have moved in so far, yeah, you can
Okay,
definitely.
the other question is there a top of the walls, or would the spikes also hit the hourglass?
The walls are flush to the ceiling.
Okay.
As they move in, just like they're flush to the floor. There is a little shape. Now that you're looking up at the top, there is an indent
Mhm.
where the spikes
Okay.
are would be around
I was like,
it.
how does it fit with the hourglass?
If we remove the hourglass, then we can fit in the indentation.
All right. So I'm gonna spend a key point, and I'm gonna try and punch that hourglass.
Dragon Punch.
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll me an attack.
12 plus 4, so 16.
Okay. I gotta look up it definitely hits. You definitely reach out and punch, and the flames go out, and they definitely hit the hourglass. I just gotta figure out what they actually do. Fire instead of bludgeoning. Okay. All right. So yeah, as it goes out, you wreathe this thing in fire, and go ahead and roll some damage.
All right. Do I roll my regular damage? Right?
Yeah. For for the first part of Fangs of the Fire Snake, if you're not spending any extra key points, then it's just your martial arts die, but fire.
So 2 + 4, 6, and I'll spend a
6,
key
okay.
point to do an extra D10 fire damage.
All right.
So that's all my
roasted up.
all my keys. I'm hedging all my bets. And I'll do an extra 5 damage to it.
So you
11.
11. Okay. So yeah, as you punch out, flames reach out. You read this thing in fire. The arms are metal. I should have said that. But you heat up the glass quite a bit, and you can actually see, now that you're up close and getting closer to it, the sand in the hourglass isn't actually sand. It's actually little
Pops.
barley grains
Man,
inside.
with beer.
And yeah, and as you torch this thing, the glass is definitely heating up and getting darker, and you can see inside you're actually roasting
corn.
the hops in there, or roasting
Ooh.
the barley.
Great.
Yeah,
Someone get some water in there.
Yeah. This is
So-
gonna make a fine porter later.
So what if we?
But it doesn't
Doesn't break.
break, though, because you're cooking the stuff inside. You do notice that as stuff is like darkening and cooking, it does actually stop a lot of the grains going through the hourglass. Now there's only like 1 or 2
Yeah.
coming through
Popcorn's a
every
lot
once
bigger.
in a while.
Does that slow the walls at all?
No.
Okay.
Excellent.
Now we just have an inaccurate timer.
What if we each
But yeah, what were you saying,
stood?
Joey?
What if we each stood on one of the barley tiles? If there's there's 5 of those for each of us to stand on. I mean,
Sure.
this
Let's-
is the monastery of Saint Arnulf.
Yeah. I'll follow
Oh.
along with that.
We might be running out of tiles.
I'm way up here though.
I'll hold my arms up.
Okay.
Come on, come down. I'll catch
All
you.
right, I'll jump.
Oh no.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
I'll jump.
All
for you
right.
to catch me.
So, all right. So go ahead and Jess, give me an athletics to catch him. Fortunately, you're both in the same weight class, so.
Ooh. 3. I got a 3.
Okay.
I'm taking some.
All right. So you break his fall. So he's not gonna take as much damage. But because you both just collapse in a heap on the floor, both of you are gonna take 3 damage.
Okay.
3 fall damage and 3 kobold damage, respectively.
3 tiny lizard damage.
And as you're lucky though, you did end up on a hop tile. So you're collapsed on the floor on a hop tile, and that doesn't sink into the floor or do anything.
That's good.
So you're safe.
I'll just stay on this hop tile then.
Oh, so are we both just prone on the same
Probably
pile?
break the hourglass
Yeah.
if that's a thing we want to do.
I don't know if that's gonna do anything other than just giving us a visual of the timer.
At this point, the walls are maybe about 4 feet apart from the spikes. The
We're running
spikes are 4 feet apart.
We're having a trash
how-
compactor moment.
Yeah.
I do honest
Where's C3PO?
honest character question. How wide is a turtle? I'm assuming you're what's the narrow dimension on a turtle size wise?
Not narrow enough.
Probably wider than a human.
Wider than 2 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I always assumed a turtle is width-wise double that of a normal human.
I am approximately spherical.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, nice.
like
Thank
2
you.
feet wide.
If you imagine like
Is it total? Is it total?
Because you
this
got yeah, his chest may be one size, but how wide is his shell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the real question.
I have dimensionality.
So you're going to experience this first, well before anybody else.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh no.
the spikes do come in, and like I said, they're wood. And you actually have a little bit of an advantage in this because you're a turtle,
Yeah.
and you're not so fleshy as everybody else in the room.
I would like to withdraw into my shell.
There we go.
Just leaving us to die.
Yeah.
Are you in your shell on a hops tile at least?
Yes, yeah, I'll be on a hops tile in my shell, just meditating and thinking, this is how I go.
Is it a slow death?
It is a long.
Oh.
It's been at least 5 minutes.
Long on the.
You've been studying your whole life for this.
Mhm. And as you do that, as you go in and you reflect upon the way of the long death,
You just accept death. That's the secret.
I have long accepted death.
you don't notice this quite as much because you're withdrawn into the shell.
Sure am.
But everybody else notices that the walls slow down a bit. They're still moving in, but they slow down.
So if we just don't move,
If we start accepting death,
what
what
we
we
don't
do?
do is dialogue. I guess I'll just sit down.
I'll
Okay.
just make myself like into the center of the room and just hold still.
Okay.
yeah, I'll find a hops tile and sit on it.
Yeah.
And just wait.
Start meditating.
It's
Okay.
the test of spirit,
Yeah, we all start meditating.
not
on the ground.
intelligence.
So the walls slow down further and further. They keep going slower and slower until they just stop.
After we're crushed.
And for all of you, you're all still like about a foot from either spike on either side. Dordle, they're definitely like
Bowing.
touching your shell. Like they're like
Definitely
you're
dead.
not
They're bending out
you're
both
not
ways.
like
trying
yeah,
to-
you're tilted a little bit.
You're
now,
wider
you
than
know,
1
but-
foot from every angle. I guarantee it.
So
You might be like, hey,
But the
guys,
door-
I'm still in here. The walls have closed completely and get me out.
so as they stop, and then the door that Bob went through will open, and the walls will start to retreat back to where they started.
Good.
Yay!
I run for the
And-
door.
I'm just gonna go up and knock on Dordle's shell.
Oh, what? Did we make it?
Yes, you can come out now.
Oh, good.
We're alive.
Yay!
I make my way back up.
All right.
Do a little bit.
And Bob will. Somewhere you hear, you're not really sure from where at this point, but you hear cheering from a crowd. Just kind of like projected somewhere.
Hmm.
And
Yay.
Bob will be like, "Congratulations, you have all passed the challenge of the spirit.
After a bit of panicking.
Took you a little longer than I thought. Took you a little longer than I thought it would.
You should have called it the talent of the
I have an
smarts or
intelligence of
something.
10.
Why it was spirit and not intelligence.
Well,
Trial
it's,
of the
it's,
accepting
be-
death.
it's because like the idea is that if you're just, got that inner peace, got that inner reflection, got that inner calm that a monk's training usually provides, then you'd probably just take the long road, the wait and see approach, which our friend here did towards the end. And he'll gesture to Dordle. And it's like, but you succeeded. You caused, honestly, very little damage to this room. Usually it's worse.
I
That's good.
and
I kick.
and he'll gesture up to the hourglass, and that is gonna make a fine stout later. We're gonna collect that.
You're welcome.
I just kind of scuff the hop tile back where it was.
You tried.
And Bob will beckon you guys down a further hallway, and he will lead us into our break.
Ooh.
All right.
Wait, can we get a short rest? Can I get my key back?
In all honesty, yes. There will be both be a short rest for us and a short rest for the monks here. So yeah, if any of you have lost any HP, which some of you have, you can
Yes.
roll. You can roll some hit dice to get those back. You can restore the appropriate number of key points after a short rest. And in the meantime, we will also take a short rest ourselves, stretch the legs, grab some water, and we will be back shortly.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to Uptown Monk. Our assembled group of monks here have made it through the first two challenges, the challenge of body and the challenge of spirit, by first hopping across a bunch of pillars and poles in a giant moat, and secondly by resigning themselves to a slow death by impalement and then being crushed. So, with 2 successes under their belt so far, the party
Path to
is
enlightenment.
led. Resign yourself to death. I mean, that's
That's
I think
step
that
one
honestly,
of joining my order.
yeah. I think that honestly, that's sort of like abandonment of self is honestly like gotta be a tenant somewhere
Well,
for some
we
order.
we, we teach accepting death at least 4 times in my order. There's
Have you
the way of the
accepted it
short
yet?
death. Oh yeah,
What about now? What about now?
Yeah.
Thought about it.
got to accept my death, and then your death, and then everyone's death. It's very morbid, but I like it.
I mean, if you entered an order called the Long Death,
the way of the long death.
probably expected.
Yeah, I feel like that's not like a 12-step course. I think that one's like you're not walking out of here in less than 2 years.
I have been studying the way of the long death for 100 years. I am still in the middle. It takes a while.
Yeah, how do you know when you've succeeded?
When everyone else
You
is
die.
dead.
It's a long game.
The longest.
The longest game.
Slow and
Ooh.
steady.
Steady.
So, Bob leads you from the spiked wall chamber down a series of hallways and corridors, and you go through the various parts of this monastery. And with the exception of this room that was ominous and full of spikes and an hourglass, it looks to be a pretty standard monk temple. It's pretty plain inside. There are decorations and carvings, the work of many lifetimes and things like that, but it's all very simple in layout. You walk past some dormitories, some rooms of worship, a couple of training rooms. And eventually Bob leads you to he throws open another double door at the end of a hallway, and you are greeted to a giant kitchen. And in this kitchen, on one far side, you see the various apparati, that go into brewing beer. You see lauter tuns and stills and kettles, mash tuns, and you see all of the filtering and bottling and equipment all laid out in one wall. Very.
They just want us to make their beer for them?
No.
Oh.
What you're presented with in this large kitchen, you notice 2 things right off. You notice that there are several cooking stations, evenly spaced in this kitchen, all of them identical, and all of them
We're gonna be
really
on
well
Chopped?
appointed.
Or
We're
Iron
about to
Chef.
play.
I'm glad you guessed it. The second thing you notice is an audience.
Oh.
I don't do well
That's
under
what we can hear.
Yeah, you see another group of people seated in some stands off on another wall of this big old kitchen, and you also see more projections of yourselves, and you see projections of the crowd outside. And Bob greets you and welcomes you into this hall, and he's like, "Welcome to the St. Arnulf Kitchen Stadium." And
Oh,
You fucking Iron Chefing it.
That's what I
Yeah.
call it.
welcome
That's what
to
we called it.
welcome to the challenge of the skill. Monks must have many skills, martial skills, contemplative, meditative skills, but also those soft skills, the skills that make all of our individual orders famous. You may have seen that St. Arnulf's Monastery, beyond our combat prowess and our duties to the common people to provide care and in times like this, entertainment. We are also renowned up and down the Sword Coast for our beer. So that is what we use to hone our talents and our concentration. And you will do something similar. What I'll need all of you to do is take the next half hour, and I would like you all to prepare a dish for me. And so what I'm going to have all of you do is actually go to your kitchens, whip something up right now, and then I'll play some League or something while we wait.
We'll
And
mail it to
you
you.
guys come right back.
Yeah.
All right.
But in all actuality, in game terms, Bob will have you take 30 minutes-ish to create a dish that you think reflects your traditions, your personal traditions, your heritage, your monastic order, and prepare it for a panel of judges. And
So,
we will see, and through this you'll demonstrate what it means to be a monk to you.
do the judges need to survive? Because I've learned a lot of making edibles, but they're not meant for a second course. Poisons.
That is
We
what it
have
means to be your type of monk.
He'll look over at the judge's table, and you'll see 3 figures seated there. And the 3 that are seated, they kind of look at each other for a moment, and they'll just shake their heads, be like, probably like they would prefer to live. So it seems like that would I'll say this right up front, the best way to ensure the most points would be that any individual judge survives your food.
Okay.
Very
So-
well.
I
So-
actually
If you
do
insist.
have a quick family emergency. So Saul is going to completely forfeit this challenge and be like, I only eat things out of nature. I can't cook.
And Bob's like, okay, yeah, we don't need a deconstructed salad. That's fine.
All right, so I won't be gone too long though. I just gotta
Okay,
pick somebody up.
okay, yeah.
I'll be back.
Okay. Good luck.
All right. So he'll turn to the 4 of you, and yeah, like honestly, at this point, go ahead, take a sec. Think of what you would what sort of meal would represent you and your monastic tradition. Also think about how you would prepare it. Like, obviously you've got all of the
In
standard
half an hour.
cookery in half an hour. You've got standard cookery, you've got, stoves, you have pots, you have knives, you have everything that you would need to reasonably cook a meal without any undue stress besides the time limit. But think about how your monastery, how they cook there, like what they do.
How fresh is the protein?
The protein is very fresh. Everything here, it's not, granted, this is still a monastery, so we're not talking like Wagyu or anything like that, but everything is fresh and healthy and safe, and very very appetizing to most people.
I'm being vague. Is it still alive?
Good. Yeah.
No
like,
answer.
we're gonna let some of it is. Bigger things like beef and pork, things like that, that's very much dead and slaughtered and prepared. There are some chickens. There are some like potted plants and things like that. Could be still considered alive. You feel like the chickens are probably there just for laying, but
Are they?
they're there.
So Ignis will just take all the edible ingredients that are already made and prepared and just dump them in a giant pot and start boiling it.
Oh boy.
Just all of
Do
it.
you just boil it with just like the just on the stove like normal, or do you do anything weird?
Just trying to boil it as fast as I can.
Okay.
Is it like a giant like cartoony cauldron? Because that's what I want to cook it in.
Yeah, there is a wide variety of cooking apparatus here. So yeah, if you there you can definitely find like a big ol' witch's cauldron, and grab yourself a stool and just start
I just want to be
brewing
standing
away
on it
that.
during this big cauldron with like every ingredient just in it. So that's what I
Okay.
do with my half hour.
Okay.
Cool. So Dordal, I have experience making poisons. In order to be able to make them the right way, you also have to have had experience making them the wrong way, so that they don't kill people. And I'm going to do some of that. So I'm going to be making a lovely nightshade salad with some bell peppers and some various fungi where parts of them are poisonous, and I don't use those parts. I deliberately and carefully set them aside and use all of the other portions to make the salad. And then I make a nice vinaigrette where if you boiled it for another hour or so, it would make a really nice blood thickener to bring around a rapid death. But when it's nice, thin, and cold, it's totally harmless. So a nice salad that could be poisonous, but is deliberately not.
You sort of see the judges, over on one side. You notice one of them, an elf, like a stately looking elf, looks like some kind of cleric or something, and he's looking at it, going like keeping a real close eye on what you're doing. Like he's like,
Yeah, I'm
okay,
making
yeah,
I'm making like plant fugu.
yeah. And he's like, I gotta admit, so far he's like, the technique is on. We'll see if the execution, pardon my words, is on point.
Your specialty, not poison salad.
All right, so who's? I mean, you're all cooking at the same time, realistically, like chopped or Iron Chef style. But who's next?
Kaylani's gonna go through the various produce and seafood available and basically make a poke salad. So it's a raw fish salad. You don't really cook when you live underwater. You steam it at best.
You just boil everybody.
Awesome.
Mostly a bunch of salted fish.
Yeah,
For
but very well seasoned.
But raw.
I mean, sushi's raw.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, the cooking raw like does require a very particular, very specific set of skills, and it's easy to do wrong. But when it's
very
right,
easy. Yeah. If you use the wrong thing raw, or the wrong ingredient raw, or prepare it just incorrectly, yeah, no.
What really drew Tritons to the surface was cooking food.
Like, man, this food is just so salty.
Okay.
It's my turn.
Jess, what do you cook up? Yeah.
As an astral monk, Tilly's gonna make a disgusting amalgamation of desserts. She basically wants to make a monk medieval equivalent of a funfetti cake with one of those rainbow gummy things going over the top like a rainbow, and a lot of like fluffy frosting and like jelly beans on top.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Wow.
So one of the other judges, a Goliath, and he'll sit and he'll be like, that one, all right, that one's last, just cause it's dessert.
And not because it might actually put us into a sugar coma.
I'm just imagining
All right,
like
so-
a monastery where all they eat is sugar and candy.
It's like the cloud cuckoo land of monastic orders.
Yeah, they're allies with the sugar plum fairies.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, just so we can get some dice involved, we'll sort of go in the order of the course order that you guys have laid out here. So, Noah, your dish will be
You
first.
got it.
As the salad course. So what I want you to do is we may have to do a couple of checks for this. I would like you to make a medicine check first.
You got it. Medicine.
You can also make a nature check or survival check. As far to
Sounds good.
as far as picking the proper parts of the ingredients to cook.
All right, I got a 19 for medicine,
Okay.
and then I got a 25 for survival.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So with that, there were no errors in your preparation,
No poison in
and
that
the
salad.
no poison in that salad
No, it's over in
whatsoever.
this bowl. I'll save that one for later. I'm gonna put those in my pouch.
Secret salad.
and
Yeah.
the judges will each have a sample of the salad, and none of them die. First and foremost, it would just be the
First time.
that would be like is the salad course not the worst course to die on? Like you don't
Then they
even
don't even
get
get the
any of
rest
the
of the
rest of
meal.
it.
I don't even get all the dessert.
Yeah, on the notepad for the judges, the first question is, "Did it kill you?"
So yeah, they'll make it through the salad course just fine. They will actually be like, no, this is actually like this is masterfully prepared. Like everything was. How do you rate a salad? I don't know how they do that. That's the
I
one.
think not
All the
killing
cooking,
you
all
is
the
a pretty good
like,
standard.
all the cooking competitions that I've watched, like they never really dive too deep into how good the salad was.
At most, it's like,
yeah,
how
you're
good's the dressing?
yeah, that's usually what they talk about. Yeah, they will comment on the
Yeah,
vinaigrette.
don't overheat that.
They'll say that it's the perfect amount of acidity, the perfect it's got the perfect mouthfeel to it. Any thicker, and it would be too much. So that goes off like the salad goes off without a hitch. You get some good marks there. So we'll go to the let's see what would be next. Would it be the stew or the poke? Probably no, it would be the stew, I think.
It's like soup and salad
Okay, more
for the first two
yeah.
courses.
Yeah.
Then have some bread.
So yeah, how does this so this stew you made, like you just like I forget who commented, I think it might have been Sean. Said it was the British method.
I guess, but they usually take like one thing and boil that,
Mhm,
and that's it.
mhm.
But kobolds will just eat anything and everything that they're like scavengers. If you just give him a whole table full of food, he's just gonna cook all of it.
It's mashed potato pizza soup.
Yeah,
No.
like
It's
as much
a
that is
classic
gonna fit in the pot and still have water to boil it. That's what's going in it. Probably meats
Okay.
first.
With a cream cheese mustard
yeah.
root beer sauce.
So
I
with
mean,
that,
if there are gummy bears on the table next to fish and pork,
I very
Yeah, it's going
carefully
in.
didn't let him throw all of the side clippings into his pot.
No. So as far as all that goes, like especially with that piece thrown in, go ahead. I will have you give me a survival check, or a nature check, either way.
I'll go with survival. 12.
12?
Be
Okay.
about right.
So you don't include any of Dordal's cast-off parts. Partially because you, like, I imagine, like, when you started cooking, you just went ham on it, right? You were just like everything in there first,
Ham
right?
and pork.
Get that hot, get that boiling.
So a
Stone
little
soup
bit of water
style.
first.
Okay, yeah. So most of Noah's work wasn't even started by the time that you had this thing going on a roiling boil. So
Maybe that's why I made a salad.
and
There are no ingredients left.
and
What can I make? Oh, all the proteins are gone. I see.
let me see here. Let me look at Iggins' sheet here real quick. 'Cause with D&D Beyond, it's never been easier. Let's see.
Animal handling.
Yeah, and I'll have you give me, like, there really needs to be a cooking skill. I'll have you give me a medicine as well.
Okay.
As you cook this up.
13.
13? Okay. All right. So as the judges will go through, they'll all like, yeah, it's surprisingly pleasant. Like that riot of flavors, it does just kind of, it all melds. Just kind of becomes like, if I were to describe the flavor, brown.
It's just brown sauce.
Yeah.
But the middle
And
judge will
Higgins
speak
will-
up.
As you're saying that, Higgins will just nod proudly, like, yes, perfect.
Exactly as intended.
And the third judge, in Arakakra, will like just nod, bobbing his head, be like, yeah, no, you've managed to fully capture the taste of brown in a way that I
The
have not
talent.
had in years.
Thank you, sir.
It's a good thing Eric don't have the sense of smell.
Okay, and so moving on to the poke course. Same sort of thing. I'll have you give me a nature or a survival for the prep.
Dice are licky. That would be a 14.
14. Okay. And let's see. Just to get all the checks in here. How do you describe the dish when you bring it up to the judges?
Oh god. I basically kind of describe what the basic, like what this, like salad, like there's the salad parts that everybody knows, the various vegetable parts, and then just like explaining that which type of fish I use, what additional non-usual things like using avocado and mango, and then what is the sauce consists of. Just sort of describing succinctly the ingredients used that are not as typical in a salad.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Go ahead and give me a persuasion.
Oh, goody. Natural 20.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah.
Hey.
Happy
Happily
New Year.
there, fishing it themselves.
I have a courtier
yeah, no,
background. I know how to talk.
So yeah, no, as you explain this, like, yeah, you're explaining it like succinctly and quickly, much like a chef would, really, at the judges' table, like so many Iron Chefs and challengers have done before you. But something, just the way that you're carrying this across is just like with the utter confidence that this is the way to prepare this salad. Like any
This is
other
the
way
way.
would just be, yeah, this is the way. Any other way would just be incorrect and not worth
Just
attempting.
be not the way.
And that they also the Goliath judge looks like he wants to say something, but he keeps getting distracted and just eating.
I mean, people are welcome to try the other ways, but they're wrong.
I love tridents.
Right, sad.
And as
How
we
can you be a
move on to
snob
the
and a monk?
like, well, I've seen a lot of kung fu movies, and somehow they managed to push through it.
Like, what do you like? Okay, there's like 2 D&D races where you could be like, I could be a snob and a monk, a Triton or Drow.
And so we move on to the dessert course, and
Every dessert.
Tilly
and how do you?
carrying the giant
Yeah.
cake, and she's like reaches up and puts it on the table because she's small.
I just
And-
see like they can't see her. They just
Yeah, just like big cake. And she'll
Amazing.
describe it as so as an astral monk, my powers come through the embodiment of my psyche and soul, which obviously is a rainbow, because that's just who I am. So this meal
All
is
of the
the
rainbows.
representation of me as a person and my soul. It obviously tells you a lot
All
about
right.
me.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check real quick.
Oh,
okay.
Surprise.
14.
14. Okay. And all right. And so that'll cover the mystical portion of the dish you've created. And go ahead and give me a sleight of hand.
Oh,
Ooh.
So this way we can judge the
Presentation.
the
That
decor of that presentation.
is,
I don't know what you call cake decorating.
18.
18. All right. Awesome.
18 for cake decorating.
The elf will sort of, you look at him and he looks like he's a pretty serious sort of person overall, but you sort of see like a little light in his eyes. Like he's still stone-faced, but you see a little light in his eyes as he's eating the cake and he's eating like the gummy rainbow, and he's
Is
just
it like in Ratatouille where he eats the bite and he just is transported back?
To Easter's
For an
Eve.
elf, that's a long way back.
a little bit, yeah. Like he's like, I have not had a dessert like this in 300 years.
I'm sorry for your loss. Here, have more. I'll give him another slice.
Hasn't been trick or treating in 300 years.
And then eating the
3
contents. Of...
centuries.
And he'll be eating it and like, this is so sweet it hurts.
Good.
My teeth hurt.
You might want to see a doctor. That's not normal.
Instant dentist.
But I like it. And let's see. So and at this point, the judges will confer amongst themselves and Bob will beckon you over. It's like, now again, this is only sort of a competition, so the score doesn't really mean anything.
It's like who's line?
Yeah, it's like the score is made up and the points don't matter.
Mhm.
But let's see. So he'll look over. The judges are tabulating scores and stuff.
All still alive.
All still alive.
We didn't kill them.
Hope
jokes-
potentially
The joke
diabetic
is that
now.
my
Yes,
my
all
teeth
still alive
hurting
and now
sweetness is
diabetic.
actually what's going to kill them.
They all go into a
It just
sugar
takes-
coma.
So,
It takes longer.
Yeah. Diabetes knows no race. Like,
any
Although
pancreas out
apparently
there.
it's predisposed in goblins for cultural reasons.
and the judges will confer, and it'll be like, this was actually very, very tight. But we award the title of Iron Chef to the murder turtle.
Or the not murder turtle.
And the Arakocra would be like, we swear it's not out of fear.
Remember, I could have killed you.
In some way, shape, or form, every dish could have killed them.
Yeah.
The long death of diabetes.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
But yeah, no,
Say-
between a fugu salad, a poke salad from the sea, the color brown, and diabetes in cake form, like there was the
Fun.
potential for every single judge to die.
Yeah,
So
Salt would have just given him some mushrooms. So
Okay, so would have all accounted for, would have all potentially killed the judges
Yep.
with this preparation.
but none of you did, and that's beautiful.
also, I made it back
So-
just in time. Look at that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that
exactly.
That was good
Absolutely
timing.
perfect timing.
Luckily, the emergency happened right up the street, so
Oh, and everything's good.
everything's
okay.
good. Everyone's safe.
Yay.
Okay. Cool. Good. And now Bob will lead you out of Kitchen Stadium, and he'll lead you through a set of doors, through a set of doors on the back end of Kitchen Stadium, and you are actually, as you go through the doors and as they open, you see that this sort of leads to an enormous inner courtyard. But you can't see the other side of this courtyard because the entire thing is full of like a light mist, like a light fog, and bamboo. There's like a little miniature bamboo grove.
Is this
in-
Bushido Blade?
Sort of. In the middle of this abbey, and it's like full on adult bamboo. Like the stalks are like several inches thick, very woody. Leaves and branches everywhere. There's like the sun's just shining, dappled through all the leaves. It's very quiet, very peaceful, very tranquil.
Very closely spaced.
Yeah, they're all pretty closely spaced. There's still plenty of room for most people to run through without touching any. There's
But
room to
Dordle
move
is not
around
most
in the
people.
stalks.
I
No.
am not. I am most people's.
I will
Roll.
peel back the curtain a little bit. I had the idea for this part before I knew any of you was going to be a turtle. So
Valid.
But Bob will lead you into the center of this bamboo grove, and he'll be like, and now, my friends, I welcome you to the final challenge, the secret challenge, the challenge of combat.
Hey.
Of course.
Yay.
Surprise.
Because at the end of the day, we punch and kick people. Like this, we're monks. It's sort of what we do. And I will be your opponent.
Oh, sweet.
And at and at this, he will kick off the ground, and he will kung fu float his way back like 30 feet into the air, into the bamboo, and hold his axe out ready.
He's got an axe?
What?
Yeah, he always
Kind of monk.
had an axe.
Yep.
A
Yep.
Kensei monk.
Yeah. Yeah, I can say
Um,
monk.
All right,
Yeah.
roll for initiative.
Fucking
And-
Bob.
Roll for initiative.
Fucking Bob.
Yeah. Yeah. Kelly has some personal experience with this character before. So
Considering I'm in a party with him as like the counterpart on our side of the table.
Mod 20.
Okay.
7.
Team.
I got a 13.
Got a 12.
It's and okay. So, Iggins, you definitely get to go. Oh, actually, I got to roll for Bob. There we go. Where's Bob?
0.
Bob is there. Okay. All right. So yeah, Iggins, you do get to go first. So I will say, go ahead. Actually, no. Yeah, never mind. Just go ahead and take your turn. What do you do?
Just run up and punch him a couple of times.
Okay, he is sort of like he's doing that crouching tiger thing where he's just sort of standing on a bamboo branch
Oh,
up
awesome.
above, up off the ground. Yeah.
Can I just try and break the bamboo that he's standing on?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna try and
Yeah,
do
you can
that.
go ahead and destroy that
Right.
that bamboo.
Okay.
Hacha.
19 plus mod. I
Okay.
think I'll
So yeah,
hit.
you'll definitely hit. Go ahead and give me some damage on that bamboo.
Is it a D4? Oh. 5?
5? Okay. So yeah, do you just like karate chop it or just punch right through it, or
Yeah, I'm
how
doing
do
like a
how do you
chop. Trying to like chop it.
Okay. So yeah, you'll chop cleanly through, and you'll break the stalk off, and the stalk will like shift over, like drop, and then fall. And Bob's gonna have to use his. Bob's gonna have to make a save. Okay. Bob will float to the ground slowly, monk, and he'll land in front of you, axe at the ready.
Great.
And anything else you want to do?
Well, if I still have actions, can I punch him again? How many punches can I get as a monk at level 3?
Well, at level 3, you get one normal punch, unless you want to use. Actually, monks are weird. The amount of attacks monks get at whatever level is weird.
2 or 3.
2 or 3. At level 3, if you just do a normal punch, you can use your bonus action to do another punch. Or if you want to blow a key point, you can do 2 more punches as a bonus action.
I'll save my key for now and just do a regular punch.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and roll to hit, Bob.
Oh, not gonna hit. That's like a 8.
Okay. Yeah, he'll sway out of the way.
I was too much in awe of the way he floated down to the ground. Chow Yun Fat style.
All right. And Kaylani is next.
He's already on the ground, so changing what I'm doing. I'm gonna start by just going at it with an unarmed strike. 24.
Ooh. That'll hit.
6 damage.
Okay.
Just bonus action, another unarmed strike. 18.
That will hit.
Another 6.
Okay. Cool. So you get a couple good solid punches on Bob. As you punch him, he's a sturdy old dwarf. Like, looks like he's got a few more of those in him. But you make some solid contact on him.
I'm used to moving and punching underwater. So I don't have the resistance up here.
Great training.
All right. Anything else on that you want to do? Or, well, I mean, you moved and punched and punched.
I moved to punch. Yes, I did everything.
Okay, cool. All right. And let's see who's next. The Saul.
Wait for me, is he?
At this point,
still-
he's probably about. No, he's on the ground now.
Okay.
He's on the ground in front of a couple of you. You can definitely reach him, just with a normal movement.
Okay. I'm gonna use my quarterstaff and whack him.
All right.
Ooh, natural 20.
Yay.
Womp womp.
Plus 5.
Happy New Year.
25.
All right, so yeah, solid punch right on Bob. You go ahead and roll that sweet critical damage.
I am looking. Okay. Is it D6 or D8? I can't tell. It has 1D6 and then D8 under it.
Oh, that's if you're using it two hands, then it's the D8. If you're just using it one-handed, it's the D6.
No, I'm using both. 9.
9. Alrighty. Awesome. Math. There we go. And anything else you want to do?
No.
All right.
I will guard myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Bob is going to now take his turn, and he is going to take a swing at you, Saul, because you're the first person to give him a real solid whack.
Whack.
And all right. So let's see. Okay. He's gonna roll a 23 and just like making axe swings. And he's gonna hit you for 9.
No.
Can I do Hellish Rebuke right now?
Yes, absolutely. So
That's not really cool, man.
And then I just gotta make a dex save, right?
Yep.
Against that? All right.
13.
Okay, 13. Okay. Nope.
I'm sure.
He won't make that. He chumped that roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, that wasn't cool, man. And then he takes 2d10.
Agrees.
Okay. 19 damage.
19 damage?
Yes.
Wow.
It's
Two
ridiculous.
d10s. I rolled a 10 and a 9. I can
Oh,
take
hellish
it.
rebuke's a hell of,
It's real bad.
hellish rebuke's a hell of a drug.
Not
and and so Bob will temporarily catch fire. and he will go ahead and he will take his the remainder of his action, and he's gonna kick off again.
Nope.
And he's going to disengage, and
Be on
so he
fire.
won't provoke an opportunity. But yeah, he'll flutter back up into the bamboo and sort of put himself out while he flies through the air.
I was gonna say
Did you
Um,
say
forest
attack of
fire?
opportunity?
No, he disengaged, so no dice.
Lame.
I tried.
Monks.
Oh,
Them
chill.
bonus actions. So he's back up in the air, on another bamboo branch, and it is Tilly.
Oh, can I reach him if I run toward him?
He's in the air, but yeah, he's within a distance that you could conceivably reach him if you were to get up there somehow.
I would like to Naruto run toward him.
With the 10-foot arm?
Okay.
It
Uh,
would have to be there eventually.
And then
And
I would
You
like
just-
to.
while you Naruto run really quick, go ahead and give me a perception check.
14.
14? Okay. As you're Naruto running, you notice that you're a goblin, you're pretty light, but you feel lighter than you should.
Do I feel more
As you're running.
aerodynamic because of my arms? It makes a difference, right? My arms
You're
behind
not you're not quite sure if that's what's doing it. Specifically, if
given
your
the
your
fact
aerodynamics are so refined, but
But
you
given
feel
the fact
lighter.
that a very stout, very sturdy dwarf is airborne.
Chow Yun Fat rules up here.
Yeah, I'll try to get up into the bamboo with him.
So you just like do you just try and hop up to the branches, or try and
I
climb
do.
the
Jump
bamboo?
and then try to climb if I can reach them.
Okay. When you jump, you actually notice that Chow Yun Fat rules are in play here. And you are carried just in an arc in your light little hop. Actually brings you a lot higher and a lot farther than you expected.
Oh, shit.
So go ahead and give me a acrobatics.
That is 21 for acrobatics.
Okay. So yeah, you get over your initial shock, and you manage to control your arc, and you definitely can make your way to Bob and make a hit on him as you encounter him in space, basically.
While I hit him, I would like to summon my astral arms, which cost 2 key points. And yeah, they just hit normally for the first round, but after that I can use bonus actions to make them strike again. So I'm going to punch him with my astral arms. Oh, my astral arms look like big, giant, buff muscle arms that like float around behind me, but they're made out of rainbows. And they have
Awesome.
yellow vines wrapped around them.
Sweet.
Yes.
So they're like Asura arms, but they're rainbow colored with vines.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
Awesome.
That's I got a 26 to hit. with them.
Okay, yeah, that'll hit.
And then 7 damage. And that is all I do.
All right. So you are now. You notice gravity is still in effect. So you are still moving, and now you've reached the top of your arc and you're going downward. And so you'll land controlled, unless you want to try and do anything fancy on your way down.
No, I'll just land like normal.
Okay, so yeah, you'll land and just alight on the ground without any incident or fall damage or anything like that. And now it is Dordal's turn.
So I'm still like outside the bamboo at this point. Do I see the whole flying leap thing and kind of figure out what's going on, or?
Give me a perception check real quick.
I got a 20 modified.
Oh yeah, you see it.
All
Yeah,
right.
you see it's through the branches, through the mist. You see a dwarf flying around. You see Tilly just leap into the air. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to go to there. I want to do too.
Flying
Okay.
turtle!
Ninja Turtle.
I would like to launch myself at Bob.
Okay.
I want to. That's
my
where I
God.
want to be.
Terrifying.
Do I need to do any sort of a check to like launch myself up there and get up close, or I just?
No. You once you get a good powerful leap in there,
Okay,
and yeah, now you are on a ballistic arc.
I would like to grapple him.
Okay.
Oh man, flying tackle for real.
Love it.
Which I think is a contested athletics check.
Yes.
All right.
Yep. So you can make an athletics, and then I can either try and do an athletics or an acrobatics to either dodge or fight you off.
25.
25. So Bob got 22. Not enough.
Turtle
Turtle hug.
Turtle
Oh,
hug.
Turtle hug.
Time to land.
I can get you to the ground.
So at this point, it is sort of up to you. You can just continue to land, and you won't. You'll have to figure out how you land. But you can just continue your motion and land with Bob in your grapple.
Mhm.
Or
And then he was paced.
you or you can try. You will probably take some damage yourself, or you can try and drive him to the ground.
I would like
With
to. I would like to. Yeah, let's do that one. I want to land on him.
The Koopa
Okay.
Troopa slam.
All 550 pounds of me.
Just crush him.
Yeah,
Yes.
like you're doing the Bowser Koopa from Smash Brothers.
I am doing the DD
Oh,
jump.
man.
Up, boom.
All right.
Sweet.
All right. So let's see. You both take 10 damage.
Absolutely.
Bob has no choice but to take it. There is no avoiding it whatsoever.
Done.
Okay. Wow. So, Higgins, we're back to the top. Bob is pinned under a turtle.
Hold on, I gotta.
I'm so happy.
Me too.
Okay, so is the turtle just on him now?
Are
Is he
we
under
able
a
to get
turtle?
to him?
Yeah. Because can I just? Oh, okay. I want to just run as fast as I can and then just kick him in the head.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. Just his head sticking out from under the shell. Just
Do I get advantage since he's prone?
yes.
Jack the Ripper.
Sick. 19 plus 6. I think
All right,
that's
yeah,
gonna
that
hit.
hits.
If that missed somehow. Okay. So
Have you?
D4
Yep.
plus 4. That'll be 5. I'm so
5. All
tiny.
right.
I'm so tiny.
Hey, 5 counts.
And then I'll.
And yeah, you still got a bonus action if you want to do anything else.
Follow it up with a
Oh.
punch.
Hold on, I have burning grasp.
Oh, shit.
Can I just grab his head and burning grasp?
Burn his beard off.
Oh, the ultimate insult. Yes, that's what I want to do. I want to grab his beard and burn it off.
That is so mean.
Poor Bob.
You betrayed us.
So
Basically the chat too.
yeah, if you want it, well, the way that is it burning grasp or do you cast burning hands?
Oh, it's burning hands.
Okay, so you can totally do that. You're definitely gonna hit Dortle if you do, but totally can.
I'm just gonna do it.
All right. So Dortle, go ahead and give me a dexterity
Oh, I'm
save
not succeeding
now
on
that
this
you're on
one.
the ground. Yeah.
15.
Bob will try at disadvantage because he's pinned, actually. So no.
I got a 15.
A 15.
No dex.
All right. So what's your
3d6.
3d6? Yeah. So 3d6. What's the DC on that for you?
It's your monk DC, I think,
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
Oh.
Let's see.
Usually on a spell, if you or whatever it is, if you open it up, it'll say what the attack or save is.
Oh, hit DC is a dex 11.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, Bob will fail.
Sweet.
But Dortle will pass. So Dortle, you take half.
Oh, okay. It'll be 12 damage to his beard.
To the beard specifically.
Yeah. And any skin in that area.
The face area.
A little
burn
bit
in
of
the
skin.
shape of a beard.
Yeah. Just burning the rest of his face. Around his chin.
Brother
he takes
Bob
burn damage
beard.
enough. The beard won't grow back.
Sure won't.
It's horrible. Bob did not sign up for this. Well,
Yeah,
he
well,
might.
I'm very
Alright.
spiteful.
So with that, Kelly, it's your turn.
Okay, my turn to do
Bob-
something fun.
Bob's on fire under a turtle.
Okay, I'm going to take advantage of these Chai on Fat rules and go up, hovering over them, and straight down. I'm gonna cast Gust of Wind and just
Okay.
push the turtle further down into the ground on top of Bob.
Just getting collateral to death here.
Oh man.
Listen, I'm role playing a giant boulder right now. It's fine.
I can't hit him otherwise because the
I
kobold's over by the head.
True.
I get it.
All right.
It's for the cause.
Just so we know,
Okay.
I have 8 health left.
I forget. This doesn't. This just pushes around. It doesn't really do
Yeah.
damage, right?
Yeah, Gust of Wind doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't do damage. But I'm figuring he's got a 500-pound turtle, and if I'm pushing the turtle further down, it's gonna press Bob further into the ground.
I want there to be
Yeah,
a Bob
something-
imprint in the ground.
Now, Bob, you contemplate death.
Because it's
That's your death.
it's a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet away from the direction of the line.
Into the
The
ground.
ground.
And I just went down.
Awesome.
Yeah, Dordle, go ahead and give me a strength save.
Oh, that I can.
Bob will make one as well. Not that it really matters for Bob.
I got a modified 20.
You're
Oh,
fine.
Bob failed it. My dice are garbage, and you're all lucky for that.
Yeah. No,
And
nothing.
so yeah, Bob is just like Dordle. You don't really suffer any ill effects other than the movement, but yeah, this is just steadily pushing Bob further into the soft soil of this bamboo grove. All
Get
right.
smashed.
Did anyone check what Bob's like?
Though
Is
it
he just
does,
gonna give us a thumbs up when he's like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm out."
though,
tried to
if anything was still on, though what it does is that any of the mist is gone, and then any
Mhm.
fire that was still on Bob is gone.
Oh, good.
Oh, his
Appreciate
flaming
that.
beard's gone.
It disperses gas or vapor and extinguishes candles, torches, similar unprotected flames.
Saved his
Yeah,
beard.
it's only protected by his face, so that doesn't count.
Yep. All right. So, Saul, it's your turn. Hard to
Well,
see Bob at this point.
seeing the situation and can't really get to him right now, so I'm going to sit on the ground cross-legged with my staff in my lap and wait.
Ready.
Okay, just gonna hold action.
Just gonna watch for a bit.
Okay.
It's really entertaining.
All right.
You don't want to kick a dead dwarf?
Yeah, so I will. No, I don't. You know, I did my thing. I got back at him. So I will hold my action until he attacks me.
Okay. All right. So it is Bob's turn. First thing he's gonna do is he's gonna try and escape this gravity grapple that's on here.
So do I need to roll or anything?
Yes, you do. You get to roll an athletics or a strength check. Sorry, to hang on to me.
19.
19. Bob gets he'll just do an opposed strength. Bob will do a 20 plus 3
Real
on a 17.
convenient.
Isn't
It's
it?
important.
Interesting.
Oh,
It'd be higher. It would be higher if it was acrobatics.
Actually, the wind column stays.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
right.
Gust of wind stays, so each creature on the start of their turn must do a saving throw.
Okay. All right. So Dordle, you and I save.
Well, no,
It's-
it's
yeah,
not
it's just-
Dordle's turn.
Oh, that's right. So well, all right. I'll do another strength save. It is just
Wait,
strength, right?
do I
It's
make the save, and if I fail, you fail? Because I'm right on top of you?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
If I mean, it depends on this check. He might just fail and then start to suffocate. So.
This is not how I imagined this fight going, but I love it.
Nope.
I'm like, I get racial
isn't-
spells. I want to use them.
This isn't how Bob imagined this fight going either.
Oh,
Sure
He
isn't.
got suplexed out
So-
of the air.
He wanted to dance in the treetops, and he just slammed him into the ground.
So Bob does. So Bob succeeded against the grapple against Dordle. So he will kick Dordle off of himself
Wow.
and knock you out of the wind stream.
Awesome. I didn't even know.
But then he's stuck there.
He's still
Like-
prone.
The turtle moves off, and then the full force of the wind is now just pushing him into the ground.
I'm an
Um,
opportunist.
And great.
Any ocean-based character I have is an opportunist.
And he will, because he's stuck and laying on the ground, he doesn't have a lot of options for movement because of the because of the gust of wind.
And the being in a
'Cause
dordle-shaped
let's
crater.
see.
No, it's one of those craters that then has another little crater inside of it.
Yes, that's it.
So he can move, but he's immensely slowed.
First, he has to get up.
Yep. So he has to spend half of his movement to stand. First off, and then he's moving in constant difficult terrain in this blast. So he basically takes his entire movement to just move 3 steps to the left and stand on the rim of this turtle-shaped crater. So he can't fly or leap away or anything like that. He's grounded for the rest of this round. But he will try and make a swing at Higgins, because you're right there.
And you set his face on fire.
Nuh-uh.
What's the beard doing? Is he like missing chunks of it?
Oh, it's patchy. It's real patchy. It's
Are there like 2 missing spots in the shape of my hands?
kind of, yeah. It's like not
Tiny kobold.
a
thing?
good look on it. Little like baby patches. Yeah, it's not a good look on a dwarf or anybody really, but definitely not on a dwarf. As far as his attack, he's only gonna roll a 10. That's gonna miss
15.
against you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm little.
he'll miss that. He'll miss that attack, and that is it for his turn. He did stand up and move towards Higgins, so Saul, if you wanted to do anything while he does that, you can certainly do that. Because
Who?
you're ready to action. Saul?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I was spacing. I was paying too close attention that I wasn't paying
What?
attention.
One-shot characters. Who learns names? I got them all written in front of me, so it's real easy.
So he's up again.
Yep. He's up.
How far away is he from me?
Pretty much right in front of you.
Okay. I'm gonna try my Fist of Unbroken Air then.
Sure.
I'm going to spend 2
All
key
win-
points. And he must make a strength saving throw.
This is all wind all day. He's just stuck between
Yeah.
2 airbenders.
Heck yeah! That was my character concept.
Okay, so
airbender?
you rolled high on this one. So that's it's a 22.
Okay, so he passes.
Definitely like blown a bit. Like it's like no.
No. So it doesn't. Well, on a successful save, take half as much damage and don't push it or not get thrown. Okay, so that'd be 1d10 perhaps. If on a failed save, it's 3d10 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, okay. Now you just roll whatever the normal damage is, and we just half it.
Okay. Math. 8.
8. All right. Is that the full damage or the half?
That was a half.
Okay, sick.
8 damage. So it's like.
All right. And Tilly, your turn.
I would like to run up and go punch him with my magical fists.
Again. All the magic touches.
So my regular astral arms, that's 23 to hit.
All right, that will hit.
And then 8 damage.
Okay.
And then for a bonus action, it says immediately after you use the attack action with your astral arms, you can make 1 extra attack as a bonus action. So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
That's 14 to hit.
That will miss.
Okay. And then to finish my turn, I go and stick my tongue out at him.
All right.
Cutest goblin.
And Dordle, your turn.
Hey.
What are you? What are you gonna do to this man?
Well,
Meteor smash.
I would like to give him the old claws.
Yes.
The old claws in the face.
Okay.
So I want to run up to him and just do a good old attack with actually with my quarterstaff first.
Okay.
Just give him a big old perfect form baseball swing. From my years of studying the long death. You see, it's also a physical length.
Baseball's not a quick game. I feel like that would be
Right, and
right
the
up that alley.
quarterstaff is actually it's a little bit longer than normal. Extra length in the death. Yeah, so I'm gonna give him a swing with one of those. Let's see. Well, I swung at him. I got a 15.
Okay, a 15 won't hit.
All right. Then I'm going to abandon all civility and just claw him with my claws.
Alrighty.
So I'm gonna use a key point to do a pair of attacks. The first one is a 18.
Okay, that will hit.
Okay. Then I have to find my d4. And that's 6 damage.
Okay.
And then the second one is also an 18.
Okay, yeah, that'll also hit.
Good. I'd be very confused.
His AC hasn't suddenly changed for some reason.
And that one was 7 damage.
Okay.
I figure I've done enough hitting on him. Now I need to start hitting on him.
Okay. So at the top of this round, Bob will actually stop and stand erect, and he'll spin his axe around, and he'll just sort of like plant it in the dirt next to him, and he'll be like, "I'm good. I have had enough."
To avoid killing him from massive damage.
I'm out.
Hold on. I'm gonna attack him one more time.
Oh, Lloyd.
I wanna do a flying uppercut at him, and I want to yell dragon punch while I do it.
Okay.
So like while he's got his hand up, I'm just gonna dragon punch him.
Okay.
I've got a response to that after.
Oh, I should get advantage because I have pack tactics. But
You
I
should.
roll a 9, so I get 15.
Okay. Yeah, those won't connect.
Oh, that's it. That's all I wanted to do.
I'm just gonna.
That's fair.
Kaylani's just gonna adjust the gust of wind to get Igan, but not Bob, to just blow him. just Team Rocket him.
Oh, what do I gotta roll? What's the DC?
Strength save.
Oh crap! How about a 3?
Igan is blasting off again.
How much does Igan weigh?
15 feet.
40 pounds?
5 pounds.
Like 40 pounds.
Team Kobold's blasting off again.
Team
Beautiful.
Rocket.
Amazing.
So Bob will like, I officially declare you all the winners.
Yeah.
And I thank you on behalf of myself for an interesting fight.
That's a way to describe this.
If not a... It was honorable, I suppose. It was not dishonorable, for the most part.
That last second.
For the most part.
For the most part.
All but 5 pounds of it.
Yeah.
But
40.
All but 40 pounds of it.
40 pounds doesn't seem like so much for some reason anymore. It used to.
I wonder.
It's all about perspective. And you all definitely gave me a perspective I have never had.
Laying on the ground.
Being crushed by Tortle.
And in thanks for your demonstrations of your monastic traditions and the ways of your orders and your combat prowess, cooking skills, dexterity, and athleticism, I make you all honorary members of the Order of St. Arnulf. You are welcome anywhere the Order is present, which is most inns and taverns up and down the Sword Coast, so congrats. And and I also bestow upon you, should you ever use any of these characters ever again, a extra key point. That
Oh,
is
sweet.
perfect.
All because we accepted our death.
And with that, we bring this one-shot adventure to a close.
Sweet.
You guys were awesome.
That was fun. My cheeks hurt.
Yeah.
That was good.
Thank you. That was super fun.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanna thank all of you for playing. Everybody here was awesome. You guys were exactly what I wanted out of a bunch of rogues. I will say, yeah, I was definitely expecting a lot more a lot more Crouching Tiger climactic fight scene towards the end, like with everybody just leaping through the air, alighting on bamboo branches to smack at each other. It's like that. I mean, you all knew that's where I
Yes,
was
Crouching
going.
Tiger.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and
That's
you
why I took
absolutely
advantage.
shut that down.
Now you're on fire and getting crushed.
Yeah.
That's why I took advantage of the gust of wind.
Crouching Tiger.
It was so good. It was so good. Every part of that was so good. So
I think Dordle was the MVP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dordle was MVP.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, Dordle MVP by both accepting death and
Master
almost
of
crushing Bob to death.
At first, when you were starting to describe the 4th round, I was like, "Oh shit, is this a tunnel? Is this going to totally screw over Dordle?
I would have
Only
been,
one with dark vision."
that would have been sad.
Oh.
No, instead I inadvertently gave him a space to use his innate strength.
I think the Bowser
You
gravity
basically
smash.
took away it took away his slow flaw.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
hated his strength.
That
So
was
good.
amazing.
But
It
That was
was.
good.
Thank you for running this.
This was
Yeah.
no, thank you
Yeah,
guys
thank
for
you so
playing.
much.
I want to play
This was a
again.
blast.
Yeah.
There will be chances for that. I will say I am going to. We'll just say this right on the stream now. I am gonna take a break next week again. We have something real special coming up that I'll be putting out soon. And it'll be a blast. It'll be great. Hope everybody watches. And I guess one more time to wrap up. Thank all of my awesome players. Thank you, Jess, Brian, Alyssa, Noah, Kelly. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for playing. Thank you for being awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank everybody. Thank
Yeah.
everybody who watched. You guys were ripping it up in chat, which was great. Thank you to Arkamer for producing this whole shindig this time around.
Woo-woo.
For being the the man behind the camera in this instance.
You
And
did do it. You did it all.
and until next time, D&D.
Yeah.
Buffalo Scrying Things.
Okay.
Wings, Ale, Dungeons. Bye.
Bye.